Welcome to the Even Better podcast, where your host, Sinikka Waugh of Your Clear Next Step, brings you exciting content about making communities better by helping people get even better at work.
Hey there. Thanks for joining me today on this episode of the Even Better podcast. Sinikka Waugh here, and I'm so delighted that you are taking a few moments. We're talking about joy today, and it seems like a funny topic because there is there are all these places where joy just keeps coming at me, and I'm so delighted to share this with you because this has been a season of darkness. This has been a season where there have been hard things this year. It's been a hard year. It's been a tough year, um, personally, professionally, nationally. There's been dark stuff this year, and there's been tension, and there's been turmoil. And I've talked to so many people who have been discouraged and distraught. And maybe you're one of those people as you're listening right now, and maybe you're like, Joy, I wish I had more joy, or I wish I could find more joy, or I wish I understood how to get more joy. And maybe this little nugget of joy, as we talk about joy briefly, maybe this will give you some hope and some inspiration and a way to focus. So thank you for joining me today. As this was built off of the 10 things that I learned about running this business here at Your Clear Next Step in the last 15 years. We're on to 16, we're nearly through our 16th year in business. And 16, man, year 16 has been a doozy. 15 years were great. And this 16th year has been foundationally awful. I don't know any other way to describe it. It's been brutal. It's been brutal on all fronts. And here I am coming to you, and as I record this, it's in the 11th year of this of 2024. As I record it, we're halfway through. So I started the business in summer, so I'm halfway through the 16th year, and it's gross. I've had 15 great years and one foundationally awful year. It's so bad, and I'm smiling as I record this because I still have joy. And I can look at where our goals were set for the year, and we're not going to come anywhere close to most of them. We had financial goals, and we're going to miss those by a mile. We had staffing goals, and we're so far off those that it's not even funny. And we had growth goals, and we had accomplishments that we were set to do. And I'm an achiever, man. We achieve, and we're not going to hit those. We had one goal that was about refreshing people, and we were going to refresh 10,000 people this year. And that one we're going to hit. In fact, we've exceeded this goal already, and the year's not over. And that's a delight, and that's super exciting. And that is part of what brings me joy. But the other stuff, man, we're off track. Wowza, but I still have joy. And as I look back on why am I laughing? Why am I smiling? I'm an achiever. I'm a goal-oriented, focused person. And I teach entrepreneurship, and I teach the entrepreneurial spirit, and I am smiling and I am joy-filled as I share these abysmal stats with you. Why is she laughing? What's wrong with her, you say? As I shared the 10 things that I've learned this in the 15 years of running Your Clear Next Step, one of them was about joy and about finding your joy. And somewhere along the line, I remember hearing from a friend or a colleague or someone that I'd encountered, and she was expressing some regret along the line. Her kids were about ready to graduate high school or somewhere in that space. And she said, I wish I had built more forts with my kids. She said, instead of folding the blankets in the living room or putting the pillows back on the couches, or instead of being frustrated at the messes, I wish when my kids were little, I had just built more forts, built more blanket forts with them in the living room, and curled up under those forts and read with them in the living room and with flashlights in the dark. I wish we had built more blanket forts. I wish we'd had more fun. I wish we had done the things that brought us joy. And instead of folding up those blankets and fussing about it. And I remember that made such an impression on me, and thinking about the importance of that. And as I've gone through my career, and I've thought about my own approach to life and where my joy comes from. And it's no secret here that I have a very, very strong faith foundation, and where I believe my joy comes from and how I try to live that out in my life, and where I invite you to think about joy in your own life. Finding your joy and carving off time for that is so critical, is so important. And I think about the people that I've encountered who do that from a faith foundation, or from a spiritual space, or from a secular space. I think there are three really consistent themes that I continue to find. And I want to offer those to you right now. And I hope that they'll find that they'll touch you somehow, and that they'll resonate with you. And in my life, because of what I believe, I look back to Galatians 5:22, and the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law, right? This is how I try to live my life, with love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control. And there is no law against these things. These are things that show up in my life because of how I have chosen to align my life, and because of the grace of the Lord, and because of my salvation. And they show up in my life because of what God has done in my life, not because of anything that I've done, but because of what God has done in my life. But the second one, right? Love is first. I talk about love a lot, and I believe that we should love out loud, and I believe that we should love God and love our neighbors. But the second one, right? This is really, really important. The second one in the fruit of the Spirit is joy. Like, we shouldn't be all somber and sad, and joy is right there. Joy should show up in our lives. And I love that joy is second. Joy should be bubbling out over us. And somewhere along the line, people have described me as someone who is effervescent and joy filled, and enthusiastic is a default setting of mine. And I know I'm over the top for some people. I get that. That's what I've talked about. Not everybody is in my tribe, and that's okay. I'm too much for some people, and I know that. That's okay. But some of that is the joy that just bubbles up. And that comes from what God has done in my life. And I still believe that these three things are true about joy. The first one is that joy is intentional, it is a choice. We choose to be joyful. Even in times of sadness, even in times of darkness, even in times of sorrow and um, despair, and things that are trials, and things that are going on around us that are tough. You're sweating it out at the gym, or you're burdened under the heaviness of lots of work to do, or lots of stress, or even distress. Choosing joy is a conscious decision. It is an oomph, it is an effort. You have to choose it. Joy doesn't just happen, you choose joy. And I believe that joy is intentional. It is a choice. It is a conscious choice. You have to choose it. You have to make time to go there. You have to make an effort to go there. And if you are choosing to be disciplined in your joy, and you're choosing to put your joy in the right things, I don't believe that joy is found at the bottom of a bottle of Jim Beam. I don't believe that joy is found in some places that are just empty promises. I don't believe that the joy is found in money. I don't believe that joy is found in empty things. But I do believe that joy can be found even in dark times. But you have to move there. You have to look for it. You have to seek it out. You have to choose it. You have to choose joy. You have to want joy. You have to choose it. I'm going to use an analogy, like a cat here for just a second. You can kind of picture a cat on a windowsill, right? It's a cold, cold winter day. And there's this tiniest ray of sunshine coming in the windowsill. And the cat finds that tiny ray of light that's coming in, and it's made a little pool of warmth on the floor in one little spot. And that cat goes and finds that one warm spot and curls up in that one warm spot. And then the sunshine moves, and the cat moves to the warm spot, actively seeking out that warmth. actively seeking it out. If you keep looking for the muck and the mud and the mire and the darkness, you're gonna find it. But if you seek out the joy and you make time to go there, you're gonna find it. It will be there. Now, I believe that that's found in, I believe that to be found in God. And if you want to ask me about that and spend some time in that, please, please, please do that. But so there's Lisa even wrote a book recently, Joy is My Job, and she talks about the adventure that she and her family have gone on, creating time for the things that bring them joy, activities, adventures, things they're doing together that bring them joy. And for them, family time and activities and the things that they do that light them up and that bring them smiles and that bring them moments of joy. Carrie Copley, recently I got to spend some time with her, and she wrote a really wonderful text on finding joy. There are places that you can go to find joy, and I encourage you to take a look at where you're going to find your joy, but it's intentional. I believe that what we know about joy is that you got to make time for it. It's a choice. You got to choose it. And you got to choose to put down your phone and put down the social media and put down the muck that you're reading. Put it down and go choose joy. Stop looking at the darkness. Stop looking at the despair and choose to find something joyful. So I think a second thing about joy that I found is that it's bigger than a cat video. It's bigger than a cat video, but it can start small. It can bubble up. What do I mean by this? And please know that I am not certified or licensed in any form of like, please seek a mental health professional. If you are struggling with depression, if you're struggling with anxiety, I am not offering any sort of counseling in that space. And I encourage you to go seek help in that space. What I'm offering is, as you think about your own life and your own life patterns, and you're going through the daily grind, and you're like, my grind is just grindy, and I don't want to live a grindy life. My work is worky, and I don't want to work anymore. I'm looking for something joyful. I think even in our day-to-day grind, and even in the darkness of the bleh that happens, right? I'm here to help your work days get better. I'm not sure that escaping to a silly cat video is the source of joy, but I think there are funny things that can light us up, and that they can start small and you can smile about them. I think it's okay to find humor in things, not at someone else's expense. Absolutely not. I don't believe in sarcasm. I don't believe in tearing other people down, but I do believe in delighting in humor. And then if it's not laughter, maybe it's beauty. Maybe it starts small. Maybe you find joy in beauty. Maybe you can't find joy, but you can find beauty. It's the beauty in the pattern on a leaf, or the beauty in a snowflake, or the memory of a tender word that was shared. If you can't get all the way to joy, but you can find beauty, beauty can then turn into joy, because it's finding something bigger than ourselves. It's finding something outside ourselves to enjoy. Do you hear that word? Enjoy. To enjoy, to appreciate, to look on and delight in. And it's small. It can start small, but when we appreciate and we enjoy something that was created or exists outside ourselves, we start to realize that there's something outside ourselves that's bigger than us. And we can appreciate that, and we can delight in that, and we can get grounded in that. And then our daily grindy grind doesn't seem so bad. So I look at models like EOS when they start their L10 meetings. If for those of you who are using EOS as a practice, the entrepreneurial operating system, they start their L10s, their level 10 leadership meetings, with bests, your personal bests and your professional bests. Their quarterly reviews also start with that. Well, why do we do that? Why do we start with our best? Because we're looking to enjoy or appreciate something that brings us delight, something that brings us wonder. I think It can start small. It doesn't have to be this magical, I got my master's degree. It doesn't have to be that. It could be something little like, I I saw this really great rainbow in the sky. I saw this really great sunset. I ate a really great ham sandwich. Those bests can be delighting in something and enjoying and appreciating something small, and then that can bubble up. It can grow into something bigger. One of the clients that I worked with years ago in his leadership team, and I worked with the whole team, but they'd show and tell. And I love this. The leadership team had a show and tell. And so it wasn't just that they talked about it, they could show each other, they could see, and you could visually delight in what the other person was delighting in. I think I think it's bigger than a cat video, but I think part of why YouTube came to be and part of why the internet exploded is because we all needed this little nugget of joy. We needed a little nugget of something outside ourselves for just a second to look at and enjoy. Do you see it? That word joy, to see and to sparkle about and to light up about. And this takes me to my third point. And the third point is that joy is contagious. Joy is contagious. I remember back in, I think it was 2016, August of 2016, Harvard Business Review had this big old headline that says, bad moods are socially contagious. That's not a headline. That's not news. We've known that for years. Bad moods are socially contagious. You know what? So are good moods. Joy is contagious. When you fill a space, when you fill a room, when you fill, that was fun. I have a chime go off just then. Sorry. Joy is contagious. When you fill a space, when you fill a room, when you fill a moment with joy, it's almost impossible for the person next to you to not see it, to not feel it, to not share it. They will also feel that little bit of warmth, that little bit of sunshine, that little bit of joy right alongside you. And maybe, just maybe, when they go and reflect on their day, they will see your joy as that moment of beauty, that moment of light, that moment of sun that they had, that moment of warmth, and they will gravitate to that. And then they can light up about that and they can share that. And then look at the ripple effect there. Then someone else will see them light up and they will gravitate to that and will light up the world with these little moments. You have the ability to brighten someone else's day by being bright about one little thing. Sometimes that's all you need, is just one person being one little spark to find that joy. And then you could be that one little spark for someone else. And who knows, maybe that one little spark is all they needed to go be a spark for someone else. And then spark, 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 spark. Look at what we've done. We've lit up a room. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to be in a Christmas candlelight service, but if you've ever experienced this, this is the idea where they dim the lights and it's all dark in the service. And then one person lights one candle, and then one candle lights another candle and another candle and another candle lights another candle, lights another candle, lights another candle. And before moments have passed, the whole room is lit with all these candles. That's what I'm talking about. That's what joy does. That's what joy does. And so if I go back to what this little nugget of things that I've learned in 15 years of running this business is, carve off time for your joy foundation. And I know that my joy is found in the Lord. I know that the joy of the Lord is my strength. That's where I get my foundation. And that allows me, if I am intentional, if I choose to go back to that, if I choose to have my daily routine of grounding myself in prayer and in faithful study, if I choose daily, a daily discipline to have that joy, and then I look around intentionally, I look around for those moments of joy. If I'm intentional, that's the first thing, because joy is a daily intentional choice. And then I even find in the moments of darkness or in my daily grind, I look for glimmers, even the littlest things. I look for glimmers, the patterns of beauty, the little things, and I share those little things, and I remember the beauty and the joy, and I enjoy those. I savor those. I light up about those. then the third thing is that it's contagious. I share those and I can spread that joy. I hope you can find that too. It's intentional. It can start small when you need it to, and it's contagious. Those are what I know about joy, and I hope you can take that and be joy for someone else and bring joy to someone else. I hope this has brought you just a little bit of something for today, and thank you so much for taking your time to listen. On behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, I hope the rest of your day is even better.
Today's episode is brought to you by Your Clear Next Step and the Changemaker Certification Program.
Would you like to save time by solving the right problem sooner with a realistic and measurable plan? Reduce overwhelm by finding more sustainably productive ways to work? Improve employee morale by creating more positive workdays from within? Stay competitive by tightening your turn or increasing your agility in adapting to changing customer demands? You'll get 8 full-day virtual sessions over 10 months, plus 6 hours of one-on-one coaching, 8 hours of intentional networking, and 8 hours of personal reflection. The growth that we've seen is absolutely unparalleled.
Interested in becoming a changemaker? Give us a call at 515-442-0545.
Thank you for tuning in today. The Even Better podcast will be back with more content soon. But in the meantime, subscribe to our podcast or check out our website at yourclearnextstep.com for more information. See you next episode.